Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Simon and I'm an architect based in New York. In this video, I'll be walking you through some of the design processes and techniques that I'm using on a design project I'm currently working on. Everything I talk about is linked in timestamps in the video description, so you can skip around the video if you want. So let's jump into it. The building I'm designing is a simple garden shed. Before I take you through the design, I want to explain how the project came about. So as I'm developing this School of Architecture, I want to design buildings that can hopefully one day be real spaces for learning and teaching. I'm envisaging a campus of sorts with a variety of studio spaces. To keep things simple, I thought a shed would be a perfect building to start with. I'm imagining a simple workshop type space which could be used to make things in. This is a self-commissioned and a self-build project, so I'll be both paying for it and constructing it. I'll be the architect, client and builder, so I'll need to design an economical building which someone with few construction skills like myself can build. Since I don't yet have land to build this project on, for now I'm just treating it as a fun sketch design project. So the main parts of the design process that I'm focusing on so far are the fun parts, that's research and experimentation. So when you're doing research for an architectural project, it can take many forms. For this project, I've started by collecting images of sheds and workshop type spaces that I find interesting and inspiring. I store these images in my project page I created using Notion so I can easily refer to them. Just a quick side note, Notion is a really cool workspace app which I've started using and I've found really helpful. I'm basically using it as a Pinterest board here, but it can be used for loads of other useful things. And yeah, I'd like to do another video about it someday. So, by looking at precedents of built examples of this building type, I can soak up loads of useful information which can help me when I'm designing. For example, this image shows a shed type structure which, from doing a bit of research online, I know was built with a modest budget. This project was a self-build structure which I found interesting since, as I said before, I'd ideally like to build the majority of the shed myself. I think that I'll learn more about the construction techniques and about the challenges of the self-build process if I treat this as a DIY project. Since I want this project to be economical, I'm interested in using cheap or even free materials. I'm also keen on exploring materials and methods of building that I wasn't previously that familiar with. I had never worked on a college or work project where earth was used as a building material. With some research, I've learned that it may be suited to this project since it's basically free. Other materials that I'm looking at are timber and corrugated metal for the roof. Off-the-shelf doors, shelving, and simple industrial light fixtures also seem appropriate given the modest budget. I think a really powerful thing to remember is that when we draw and make things, we are actually researching. Research doesn't have to look like some dry academic paper, it can be fun. We can sketch construction techniques that interest us or make a model of a structure that we find inspiring. So for this project, I've been studying earth construction techniques by sketching them out. I've learned about the four main techniques. They are rammed earth, daub, adobe, and cob. Right now, I'm thinking that cob is probably the cheapest, easiest, and most fun method to work with. So now it's time to start experimenting with some ideas. This is the really fun part. Here I'm sketching some ideas of the layout in plan. I'm thinking about a really simple shape that can be built easily. I'm thinking that maybe the walls could be lined with storage shelves and pegboards for tools and equipment. Maybe a couple of tables can be built to accommodate for a variety of tasks like model making, fabrication, or maybe even potting plants. One side of the space could maybe be open to the outside, and a covered area could extend this working zone. A simple timber frame could support a light corrugated metal roof. Selected roof sheets could be polycarbonate corrugated panels to allow additional daylight enter from above. I'm wondering about adding one or more solar panels also to provide power to the lights and equipment that will need electricity. I've taken the layouts I drew in my sketchbook into CAD and quickly drew them to scale in plan, section and elevation. I've printed out the drawings and will use these to make a scale model to see the ideas in 3D. I decided to make a 1:20 scale model, as at this scale one can start to think about details and get an appreciation for the interior of the space. Here I'm just cutting out the drawings to use as templates for the model. I use a foam cutter to quickly cut out the various forms. This tool can be really helpful to make fast study models and test ideas. The next step is to assemble the various pieces. Here I'm gluing the walls and columns to the base. I keep the roof loose so that I can see inside the model. At this stage, it's really useful to look at what I've made. Here I'm realizing that I haven't really thought about a beam over the columns. Just by holding the model with my hands, I can feel that it's not that sturdy and probably would need a horizontal support here. But that's why building loads of models is so useful. This shows why making is learning. We see aspects that are maybe missing or details that we hadn't yet considered in a physical, three-dimensional, tangible object. I've learned that cob buildings need a good hat and boots to prevent rainfall from causing damage, so here I'm looking at how I can express what will likely be a stone base. I'm also testing options for various roof overhangs. So, this was the first video of this series. In the next video I'm hoping to research cob construction in more detail and develop the design a bit more. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this, please like and hit that subscribe button to support the channel. If you want to see some of my videos about architectural drawing, you can check out the playlist over there, which will contain links to more videos about drawing techniques. Thanks for watching and see you soon.